Alright guys, welcome back. Another episode of Orbital. Rockets just beat the Mavs 103-98. Pretty close game. Rockets trail the whole game, but do come back in the fourth, really on the backs of their defense in the second half. Primarily characterized by Vucevic scoring 17 in the first half and then only scoring 2 in the second half. Pretty big for them. What else did you guys see in the game? What did you guys like?
The Rockets looked very slow to start. Chris Paul's first game back after missing, close to 20 games. So it was good to see him back on the floor. Wasn't really looking for a shot early on, but you could see towards the second half started taking over. I think he finished with a little over 10. He had about six assists, 5 rebounds. So yeah, 12 points I think. So he had a good game. I'd say distributing the ball looked pretty healthy, not back to his old form, but the Rockets were able to step it up on the defense. Really went on a good run, held the Magic to, I think, 16 points in the fourth quarter, which was really good for us to be able to come back and take the lead. And the Rockets just on the stretch, of course, Harden's been crazy, averaging over 40, in the stretch when Chris Paul's been gone over 20 games. Now he's done 23 games now, over 30 points consecutively, which is insane. It's like, he had 35 the other night, and it was like, oh, that's it. Like, and I had 40. It's not even.
Just feels. It feels not. It's not even impressive anymore.
But it was good. We still got destroyed on the rebounds, especially offensive rebounds. I mean, it's good to see Kenneth Faried, and the contributions he's making. But just on rebounds, we got beat 18-3 offensive, and then 56-39 overall. And I think our rebounds will be a better team once Capella comes back, and we'll also have Faried. But now it's like without Capella, and we have Faried in there. It's like we're still, it's rough. But
definitely like bringing and Faried's the kind of guy that he's sort of what I was talking about rebound and how big of an issue it is for the Rockets. Now it's still going to be an issue just because Capella's going to be out for another 3 weeks or whatever. So, the rebounding is going to be a problem because we don't have a lot of size on the team right now. So, when we get Capella back, obviously, I think rebounding will definitely improve. But, Faried just, man, what energy he brings. I'm telling you, that dude.
He gets everyone involved, too. Crowd involved,
It's just, and he can hit the occasional 3 sometimes, which was kind of impressive. I didn't know he was starting to develop that. He can also hit free throws. The dude is just rolls really hard, just an aggressive hustle type player. So I think that's something the Rockets definitely needed when Capella would go out. And so now he's injured now, but it's good to have him in the starting lineup and provides that. Just an incredible energy. Harden said it, he's just been a huge energy spark. But just going back to what Harden's been doing, it's amazing to watch. It's legendary. Just playing out of his mind. He puts up 40, it's just wow, damn, again, it's wild. Good to see Chris Paul out there. I haven't seen him out there in a while, and he's sort of been, throughout the season, he hasn't been as aggressive at all. He's been a little bit more passive, doesn't look for his shot too much. So we'll have to see how that progresses and develops as the season continues, and just pray to God that he stays healthy. And I hope that D'Antoni is a little bit smarter with his minutes, and just how he disperses minutes everywhere. Continue to put in Austin Rivers there. We want to preserve Chris Paul for as long as possible because he's very injury prone. We know the hamstrings are an issue. So we're going to have to see what D'Antoni does about that. But, great one for the Rockets. Down throughout the whole game, but finally made a push and came back. So that's good to see him, sort of the resiliency that this team has. And this team's just been fighting. They've gone through tons of adversity, from the beginning of the season with all the Carmelo Anthony drama and just not performing to any expectations, and sort of finding their niche there. And then Chris Paul goes down, Clint Capella goes down. So I don't know. It's been really impressive to watch. These Rockets just continue to fight, continue to claw, just to stay in the playoffs and just keep competing. So I think that it's been huge, and it's been really impressive to watch. And when the Rockets get fully healthy, I think that's when we can that's when they continue to make a push and hopefully get like a top seed somewhere around there. So, yeah.
Hey, as you brought up Melo, what do you think? Obviously, him being traded now. What do you think about where do you think he's probably going to land?
Goodness, I mean that's a hard one.
Where do you want to see him land? I guess
that's a hard one. I mean, he was in New York today. I saw that he was in New York and got honored by the Knicks there. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Knicks bring him on as just sort of like a, that could be a possibility. On like a vet minimum deal, just to have Melo for the fans, because the Knicks are horrible this year. So I mean, like, I don't know, maybe bringing Melo back in will continue to bring fans up to MSG or something. So I could see that as a potential situation. You got to keep watching the Lakers. I mean, they're sort of like, I feel like they're kind of flip floppy on him. So I think those two teams you're gonna want to watch to see if Melo goes. And then there's a possibility he doesn't even go to a team. So because there's just this whole league wide, just what's the word that I'm trying to think of? I don't know. He just has this cancer reputation for some reason. I mean, like, he just is toxic, and a lot of GMs view him that way. And so I don't know. It's kind of sad to see Melo. I mean, once regarded as one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. Can't even find a team right now. So we're definitely Lakers and Knicks, I think, are two teams you're gonna have to watch.
Going back to the Magic game, Harden has a pretty good night, and Orlando, they brought up a lot during the game, isn't a team he usually does relatively well against, having Fournier guard him all the time. They brought up stats tonight that was like, apparently over the past 5 years, which is a long stretch of time, Harden's shooting like his worst percentages against the Magic and Fournier, like 5% on threes or something. Like that. Has a pretty good night tonight, going 4 for 12. Which, I mean, you watch his recent games, it's like 5 for 20, 6 for 19, something like that. So 4 for 12, not the worst. Doesn't take a whole bunch from him as compared to his recent games. What did you guys think about, his efficiency-wise over the past couple games? It's been pretty impressive.
Well, Harden, a few games ago saw that he's the first player to ever attempt 23s and 20 free throws in a game, which really speaks to the efficiency that Harden brings and his true shooting percentage and how he takes over the games, doing exactly what Mike D'Antoni wants him to do. Yeah, he shot 9 free throws, 8 for 9, missed a free throw at the end of the game tonight, but he is really only shooting threes, layups, or going to the line. He's going to the line over 11 times a game, shooting the most threes in the NBA. He's on pace right now to beat Curry's NBA record of 404 threes in a game. Yeah, kind of crazy if he keeps his pace up, which I actually don't think he will be able to.
Probably not.
But he will.
Just because Chris Paul's back, you think?
Well, yeah, I just don't know if he's going to be shooting over 23s a game every time.
Yeah.
I think they're just different.
And you know what? He's been getting tons of hate for that. And one of the guys that I guess I'll just bring this up is Colin Cowherd.
Yeah.
Calling him a ball hog, but in all truth, I mean, D'Antoni needs to have Harden do that, because you look at the talent of the team. I mean, you got Austin Rivers, but Austin Rivers,
the rest of the team's shooting worse than Harden. But the rest of the team's shooting worse than him.
It's just, you take Harden off the Rockets, I swear they are worse than. They're probably one of the worst teams in the league by far.
Actually, you know what? I'll stop you real quick. I would actually disagree with that. They're probably not going to be one of the worst teams in the league, because I think here's what happens. One, each of those guys has to now really play up to their potential. And you look at the Rockets, there's a lot of guys on that team that can play better than what they do when they play with James Harden. That's not to say that he kills their abilities.
Here's the thing. Each player that the Rockets have outside of, Harden and Chris Paul and probably Clint Capella, they have their specific role.
Sure.
That's perfect and fits perfectly into what the Rockets do. You take Harden out of that equation, it's going to be a whole bunch of different roles for players. Like, I guess
you need someone
Gerald Green will get you get guys that normally don't do a lot with the ball trying to do something with the ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
So and I mean, probably your best scorer will probably definitely be Eric Gordon, but outside of that, who else you have? Austin Rivers, the rest of the guys are spot-up shooters and defensive guys, and PJ Tucker, he's not gonna, you know what I mean?
I just think they would actually
kind of
implement
before I went
a
to the
more systematic offense than playoff James Harden. I think that would bring more out of them if Harden wasn't on the team. I think they would play actual plays that
maybe,
are just pick and
instead
roll.
of more isolation.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I think. That's why I think they don't think they would be as worse, right? I think if they stick to ISO ball, yeah, they're gonna be horrible, but they would probably run more plays. I would assume. I would hope. If that's the team we're running with right now.
Because right now the Rockets are 5th in the West, 29-20, but we're 6 games back from the 1 seed. We're like two games back from being the 3 seed. And so I think it looks like the Warriors are probably going to lock up 1, which means the Rockets need to slide into 2 or 3, preferably 2, so that we would have home court over the 3rd seed in the second round of the playoffs. So that way we avoid the Warriors too. So if we can get the 2nd seed.
Actually, I think it's going to be kind of hard for the Rockets to even get into the top 2-3 seeds. But I think one of the more impressive things is the fact that, like, obviously, like, Portland is now starting to chase, or not chase, but kind of separate themselves from the rest of the West in terms of that, like, the 1, 2, 3, and 4 are really starting to really spread themselves a lot farther apart than the Rockets. Even though the Rockets are close, with only 6 games back, you still have these 4 seeds who are like within 2 and 3 games of each other. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully they do get into the top 4, but I think it's going to be a lot harder than maybe 1 or 2 games and they're back in there. You know what I mean?
Well, we're 1-0 with Chris Paul back, so...
It's good to have Chris Paul back. It's really good to have Chris Paul back. I mean, it's going to make a huge difference, and Harden will finally get a little bit of rest and a little bit of weight off of his shoulders. So big to have him back. Big to have him back. So once this team's fully healthy, I think they can really go. I think they now have the pieces. We've just picked up more rebounding, more energy, and kind of Fareed. I think he'll be definitely huge in the playoffs just because he's you know what I mean, just high energy, smart guy.
I still think they're like one lanky defender away.
Definitely.
Trade
deadline's still coming up, so
Daryl Moore's gonna be really active.
That's what. Yeah, he had an interview.
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah, he was on First Things First with Chris Carter and Nick Wright, saying that they were looking to be real active this trade deadline, make pieces.
Definitely.
But they said they're monitoring Harden's minutes and his usage and making sure that he doesn't quote unquote burn out or wear himself out too much. So, but with some little bit of help, like you said, with Chris Paul. We're still waiting on Capella, but then we'll really have the lineup back and try to make a good stride going into the playoffs after the All-Star break coming up. And so our schedule coming up, what's it looking like?
So coming up, schedule going forward, they play the Pelicans on Tuesday. That should probably be a dub since Anthony Davis is still out. Then you have Denver on Friday, Utah on Saturday, both away games.
So good West matchups.
Yeah, so that'll be a really interesting one, especially to see when they play Denver and Utah. But Pelicans should be an easy dub. And then Nuggets, if you take their last game against the Nuggets, you assume it's going to be competitive. Rockets probably don't beat them by like 20 again.
Drop Jamal Murray.
Exactly.
I think the Rockets just for some reason have the Nuggets a number. I think they really know how to play them. I think they have them figured out. So I don't know. We'll definitely see. I definitely see this being a lot more competitive just because the Rockets have beat them 2 times in a row. So definitely agree with you on that one, John, for sure.
And I think Utah is a must-win because we haven't beat them all season. I think Utah is a must-win for them.
Utah, definitely. Absolutely. It's going to be hard just because they have a lot more length. Just with, the big French man.
Jay Crowder, Rudy Gobert, all of them. Even
they're a pesky team.
And Rubio, too. Rubio plays Harden.
Rubio, too, yeah.
Like, Harden always gets a lot of highlights on him, but Rubio does play him pretty well.
For the majority of the time, but often gets exposed on different plays, which is kind of funny. But
he's not good for those.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you again for watching. This has been another episode of Orbital. Going forward, we're not going to do every single game anymore. With all 3 of our schedules, work, school, all that, we are going to go back to once a week on Sundays, but we will still have like game recaps on the Instagram and the Twitter. We're going to start trying to do tweeting during the games on the Twitter, and then afterwards you kind of get like a recap of what happened, what the storylines were of the game on the Instagram. So make sure you go follow those at Orbital_the on Twitter and Instagram. Guys, do you have anything else you want to say before we head out?
Sounds good. We got to get on a little run here with Chris Paul back. Hopefully Harden sustains his MVP form, though. Go Houston, let's get it.
Let's go Rockets, baby.
All right, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you all next time.